this.
Coming up, the January 6th committee votes unanimously to subpoena former President Trump.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The House Select Committee held its 10th and possibly last hearing about the January 6th insurrection today. The bipartisan group of lawmakers laid out more evidence why former President Trump was responsible for the violence and are now calling on him to testify. CBS's Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with more.
On this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection voted unanimously to subpoena former President Trump.
We must seek the testimony under oath of January 6th central player.
Trump responded on his social media platform saying the committee is a total bust that has only served to further divide our country.
In a staggering betrayal of his oath,
in what's likely its final public hearing, the panel played testimony from White House aides that showed Trump knew he lost the election but remained determined to hold on to power.
So he had said something to the effect of, "I don't want people to know we lost, Mark. This is embarrassing."
And he was looking at the TV and he said, "Can you believe I lost to this effing guy?"
The committee says it has sufficient information to consider multiple criminal referrals, but didn't say whether former President Trump is included. Lawmakers also have a range of legislative proposals to guard against another January 6th.
It was just horrendous, and all at the instigation of the President of the United States.
New behind-the-scenes video showed more of the chaos happening in the Capitol, with Democratic and Republican lawmakers calling state and federal officials to plead for help.
We have some senators who are still in their hideaways. They need massive personnel now. Can you get the Maryland National Guard to come too?
The committee will produce a report on its findings sometime after the midterm elections. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
As the hearing concluded, the Supreme Court said they won't intervene in the case about the top-secret documents Trump took to Mar-a-Lago. CBS News has learned a staffer told investigators the former president directed this individual to move the boxes to his residence from a storage facility. A Trump spokesman said the Biden administration has fabricated a document hoax. 5 people, including a police officer, are dead tonight after a shooting in North Carolina. It happened around 5 o'clock in a residential area in Raleigh. The mayor says multiple people were shot on the Neuse River Greenway. She says the suspect had been contained at a home in that area. We recently learned he has been arrested. It is unclear what led to the violence.
Well, weather-wise, it's a pretty picture outside, or at least a cool one, as we continue with our clear skies and calm winds across the region. A look outside right now, you see from our 3 locations, we're in the mid-40s, even a few low 50s out there in our warmer spots, but all is quiet regionally out there. You see a little warm in some spots, at least warmer. 53 Jackson, 50 in Prestonsburg, 51 in Pikeville. Other areas, a whole lot cooler. 45 in Hazard, 42 Manchester, and 41 in Jonesville. We should continue to see quiet conditions through the night. A couple of showers not making it to the ground as you head up toward the I-64 corridor, but it's still something we'll watch. We're down into the low 40s for many tonight with calm winds and mostly clear skies. The details coming up, though, on when we see a big-time cool down, but it comes with showers first. Those details in a few. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The death toll has risen from the historic July flooding. Governor Andy Beshear announced today it is up to 43. The 2 newest deaths were people who were suffering health conditions arising from the floods. One lived in Breathitt County, the other in Letcher County. One woman, Vanessa Baker, who lived in Breathitt County, is still missing. The governor also said today FEMA has approved more than $76 million in grants for more than 8,000 households. More than $53 million has been approved under the Small Business Administration. 276 people are still staying at state parks. 532 people are being housed in 200 travel trailers. The Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund has raised more than $10 million. Mountain Life Church in Jenkins and Walmart are partnering up again to help flood survivors recover. On October 22nd, the church and Walmart associates will set up in Whitesburg to give out groceries to anyone who has filed for relief assistance from FEMA. Mountain Life Pastor Brian Hogg says survivors will get all kinds of food.
It'll be full of non-perishable groceries. They're giving a $25 gift card so they can go to Walmart and buy meat.
The donation setup will be at Pine Mountain Grill. 2 women from Breathitt County are receiving brand new homes this week from a company called Hunter Homes and Shelters out of New York. The founder of the company created and patented a lightweight, strong, energy-efficient emergency shelter home that can be constructed in 1 day with 4 to 6 workers.
We're proud of the product. It's because of the structurally insulated panels with polyurethane foam. They're unbelievably energy efficient. You can heat and cool this thing for about $40 a month in electric. It's really amazing.
The 2 women are expected to get moved in very soon. The homes should both be finished by the weekend. Letcher County businesses are still rebuilding 2 months after the flood, 2.5 months really now. Local businessman Colin Fultz, who owns the Kentucky Mist Distillery and other businesses, lost a lot of property in the flood. While the distillery is up and running, Fultz says his other rental spaces are taking a lot of time and effort.
There's 6 businesses here, so we started at number 1, and then we're just working our way up. And then we'll be able to let those people move back in as we finish.
Fultz says he was unable to get a loan from the Small Business Administration, so he's having to find other ways to pay for the repairs. Governor Andy Beshear says those convicted of simple marijuana possession on state charges and have otherwise clean records can now apply for pardons from his office. The governor talked about it extensively today, a week after President Biden pardoned federal cases and asked governors to wipe out state convictions. The governor says he's still considering the president's request and its potential impact. There's a form for the pardon request on the governor's website. Officials gathered in Floyd County this afternoon to meet with local veterans and discuss veterans' medical care within the community. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from state and local officials who attended the meeting and on proposed expansions to the Prestonsburg VA clinic.
State and local officials, as well as local veterans, gathered on Thursday in the Floyd County Fiscal Courtroom to meet with officials from the Department of Veterans Affairs and discuss local health care for veterans.
It was an opportunity for us to put our heads together and find a solution that works for all of us. There's issues. There was not one issue that was brought up that could not be addressed and fixed.
One concern brought up during the meeting was providing quality care close to home at the Prestonsburg VA clinic.
One of the key things is trying to find a way to ensure that veterans who are authorized care are able to get care in their communities, and there are multiple ways of that hopefully happening.
And it was announced that the clinic would receive several expansions and upgrades.
They're going to go from a 7,000 square foot facility up to a 13,000 square foot facility, and they're going to add a lot of those day-to-day services that you need.
Adding services such as imagery and optometry to prevent veterans from having to travel to VA hospitals in Lexington or Huntington.
We don't want veterans to have to travel for their care. We want to be the healthcare provider of choice for that veteran. So bringing them services closer to home is the goal of the VA.
Taking steps to find solutions on how to better serve the men and women who served our country. In Prestonsburg, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams says there is no definitive timeline on when the expansions will be finished, but they are in contract, and the VA has confirmed that work on the expansion will begin in the near future. The Prestonsburg Fire Department is preparing to roll out more emergency care access. The department is currently equipped with 2 ambulances as the city plans to open an independent ambulance service, a project years in the making, which those involved say will free up resources and potentially save lives.
We have everything together right now. We're just waiting on our inspection, and that'll be coming up pretty soon. So somebody from the state will come in and do our inspection, and then they will give us our license, and the next day we'll be able to start rolling.
Once the service is available, all 911 calls in the city limits will be handled through the department, but transport calls will continue to go through the other agencies. The Christian Appalachian Project 2022 Champions of Appalachia were honored tonight in Berea. Southland Christian Church and Thomas Vierheller were recognized. Southland has provided more than 7,200 hours of volunteer service in CAPS programs, including assistance after the July flood. Vierheller has taught biology at Big Sandy Community and Technical College for nearly 30 years, and his efforts helped lead to the establishment of the East Kentucky Science Center in Prestonsburg. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, Social Security recipients are getting more money to help cope with soaring prices.
Plus some chilly weather on the way tonight and more of that on the way. The full breakdown with the latest on weekend rain chances too, coming up.
In 2019, my dad was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and I was afraid